What's up, Blood on the Razor Wire TV? You already know, bringing it to you real and raw first thing in the morning. Hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, I'm going to give you a chance. All right, now that you subscribe, hit the notification button so that you're always notified when we drop videos. You're supposed to be notified. Sometimes it don't always work out that way, so I apologize to you. If you don't get notified, man, just keep checking us out every day. We're trying to put out content. But anyway, time to share the video too. Let's share this video. When you get done watching the video, definitely share this on your social media. Like I said, it's not Chad's channel. It's our channel. Let's grow it together. Today's episode is going to be on solitary confinement. What is it like to spend days, hours upon hours in the hole? You know, some people call it the hole. Some people call it the box. Some people call it the SHU, the special housing unit. What is it really like? You know, I see shows on this stuff and other people commentate on it, but you don't really know what it's like unless you've been there. And, you know, I can tell you 100 times, go in your bathroom, which I've told people, go live in your bathroom for 3 days and, you know, see what it's really like. That's just a little glimpse of what it's like. Because when you go to the hole in prison, you get this feeling. It's a different feeling. It's like going to jail inside a jail. How crazy is that, right? You're going to jail inside a jail? Come on, man. Yeah, you're going to jail inside a jail. They take everything, man. They strip you of everything. So we're going to talk about the SHU. We're going to talk about solitary confinement. You know, all these experts that talk about it and how it affects you, and they don't know how it affects you until they spent weeks in there, months and days, years. Yeah, people spend years in there. Crazy, right? Could you imagine spending years locked in a cell, really no human interaction? What do you think happens to you? Yeah, the experts tell you it drives you crazy. Some people it does. Some people it don't. How is that even possible, right? It is possible, let me tell you that. So we're going to talk about what it's like to go to the hole. I'm going to give you a story on something that happened to me when I was in a prison down south. We were in a prison where a couple of these white dudes were drinking with this Mexican dude. They're getting drunk, they're partying, having a good time. One of the dudes is one of my homeboys. He's from Connecticut, a dude named Sims. Another dude was from West Virginia, real pretty tough dude. And his name was Jimmy. So Jimmy, if you're watching it, you can relate, man, because you're part of this story. So anyway, these dudes are getting drunk. They're having a good time. They got the music going. They're drinking wine. They made the wine. They got this Mexican dude in the cell with them. And the Mexican dude wants more wine. Well, these dudes made the wine. They're selling wine. Wine's, you know, good little hustle in prison. So the dude wants more wine. They start arguing. He's like, come on, man, let me get some wine. And he shows them a flat book of stamps. That's the currency, right? He pulls out one of these things right here. This is, back then, this was worth 10 bucks, right? 10 bucks on the yard where I was at. So he actually, he's gonna give him the stamps. He pulls it back, and they get on some bullshit. Honestly, the white dudes get on some bullshit. They beat this dude up. I mean, they worked this dude. They beat the shit out of him. So they beat the shit out of the dude. Dude comes out of the cell. Some of the homies see him. He's all beat up, face is swelled up. Now you're thinking right now, yo, this could be a race riot, right? This could be something serious. And it could. It could have escalated to be something serious. And at the prison that I was at, it was a dropout gang member yard, right? And at that dropout gang member yard, all these dudes that used to beef, they're all in a gang again. They're in their dropout gang. And don't think for a second that these dudes aren't tough dudes, because some of these dudes are gangsters, man. They had their own new gang that they formed. So when these dudes, they jump on the dude, they beat him up, whatever. And I actually work out with one of the head dudes over there, Mexican dude. He's my partner, right? We work out together every morning. We were in the same unit. I ended up getting moved to a different unit because they turned the unit into a drug program. He goes to a different unit. And I'm like, damn, man, leaving my homeboy I work out with every day. He sends me a message. Tell Chad to come out to the yard. And this is one of the times where I was definitely like, damn, man, I'm going to tell you something crazy. They want to see me out on the yard on the rec move just before chow. So I grab one of the homies, we go out there. And I remember taking my toes in my shoes. And I was moving my toes in my shoes somehow. I think it was just a nervous reaction. I look out on this yard, there's 300 or 400 Mexican dudes out on the yard. And I'm like, wow. And one of the dudes that's out there is, he was an ex-top dog in a very, one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous gangs in the federal prison system, at least to me. But I was pretty cool with him too. They called him Wado. So whoever's watching, you know who Wado is probably. I go out there and they talk to me. And they're like, look, man. My partner says, look, this is what's going to happen. We're going to go in there and we're going to destroy these dudes. And unfortunately, you're going to be a part of it. He said, I'm not going to stab you, but I can't stop my men from stabbing you. And the only way we can fix this is if something happens to these dudes, man, that did whatever they did to my homeboy. And honestly, they beat this dude up bad. Vicious beatdown. Another vicious beatdown. Dude looked like the Elephant Man when he came out of the cell. I couldn't even believe it. So I'm like, you know what? I don't even care, man. I'm going to tie my door closed. This is what I'm thinking in my head. I'm going to tie my door closed. And you might be like, well, how do you tie your door closed? You know, we put these little batteries inside the little slot, door handle slot in the door. Braid up a sheet. I could tie it to my bed. It's going to be hard to get in. And I'm like, let them go in here and kill these scumbags. Let them go in there and kill these dudes that put us in danger. It's a dropout gang member yard. You know what? Let them go in there and stab the shit out of these white dudes because I'm tired of their bullshit anyway. Getting drunk, doing dumb shit. There's politics here, but not real politics. And then I just think, I just got angry. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in there and fuck this dude up. That's what I'm going to do. So I told one of the homies, I said, look, man, check this out, man. I'm going to handle it. I'm going to personally handle this. I'm not sending anyone else to do it. I'm going to handle it. It ain't a cop-out. It ain't a check-in move. It ain't, I'm afraid. I don't want to, cause any trouble, so I'm going to smash the white dude. That isn't how this thing worked. Not at all. Was I a little bit nervous out there? 100%. I'm keeping it real. You'd be nervous too, trust me. You look out there, there's 300-400 Mexicans all standing on the fence, and they're ready. They know where they're at. They probably don't want to leave there either, but they're ready, and they're going to leave. And the white dudes were wrong, man. They got drunk and just beat this dude up. For what? Over $10? Over this? I started getting angry the more I thought about it. So I went back to the unit. I tell my celly, little Italian kid from North Carolina, Carmelo. I tell Mello, hey, look, man, this is what we're doing, homie. I'm smashing this dude. He's like, well, I'm going to hit him too. I said, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So we go in the cell. I walk in there. I tell the homie, I said, hey, man, what were you thinking yesterday? And he gets to telling me, he says, man, you don't tell me how to do my time. And I said, I don't tell you how to do your time. I said, but check this out. I said, you're dictating how I'm doing my time. You're putting me and the rest of these dudes in danger. And it's always an issue with you. You had an issue with the Muslims before when you were drinking. And he gets ready to say something. And I hit him. Boom! I rock him. He actually fell. And when he fell, I just jumped on this dude. Started hitting him. Mello starts kicking him. He's beat up pretty bad. 2 black eyes. Laying on the floor. We leave. We leave the dude on the floor unconscious. And you know what? I felt good about it. I felt good about fucking this dude up, man. But there's a reason why I felt good about it. I felt good about it because he put us in danger. Because he was an idiot. He was a dummy. So now it's count time. He's up. He's all right. He's not dead. No, he's none of that. He's up. And at count time, they decide today is the day that they're doing a bed book count. So they do a bed book count. They find him. They handcuff him. They take him to the hole. He's beat up. They know the Mexican guy was beat up. They locked the jail down. And anybody that was in Coleman 2 back then, you know how they used to lock us down back in the day, man. 2010, 2011. They used to lock us down for weeks, man. Months at a time, man. Over nonsense. So we get locked down. They do interviews. For those of you that don't know what interviews are, they pull people out of their cell. They take you down. And they take you into the unit team. They got 5 or 6 people in offices. And they're writing everything down. And they ask, do you know anything? Who did this? And you would think, in a maximum security prison, even over there, no one says anything. But people always say something. People always tell on people, always say, yeah, this is what happened. I think there's a large majority of people that say, man, I don't know anything. I don't know what happened. I was in my cell or I was in a mess. I don't know. I didn't see anything. But some dudes do. Some dudes do. And ironically, we're locked down for 2 weeks. They open the compound. And when they open up the compound, they don't call breakfast. And I got that feeling. I got a funny feeling that something ain't going to work out. Jump on the phone. I call my family. Actually, I called my mother that morning. I'm talking to her. And I see the lieutenant come in. And this is the solitary confinement part. I see the lieutenant come in. And he's looking straight at me. I'm on the phone with my mother. I said, look, man, if you don't hear from me, this is what's up. I already knew it. You just get that feeling. Heart starts racing. You're like, damn, I'm going to the hole. They come over, they handcuff you. And you instantly get this depressed feeling when you're going to the hole. 90% of people get it. You get that depressed feeling like, damn, I'm going to the hole. They handcuff you. They take you to R&D, or they take you to the lieutenant's office. They put you in a cell. They ask you some questions. Oh, what's up, man? Why you jump on the dude, man? What's going on? And you're like, you don't want to go to the hole. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't jump on anyone. This is 2 weeks later. If you had me, you would have came and got me off the camera. So you're not trying to get rolled up. You're not trying to, sit there any longer than you have to. So your best bet is keep your mouth shut, right? Don't admit to nothing, no matter what they tell you. If they show you a video of you hitting somebody, tell them that ain't me. Got the wrong guy. And then you go to the hole. You get to the hole. They put you in a little cage and they take your clothes off. They strip search you, make you bend over, spread your ass cheeks. Disgusting. Hate it. Hate it with a passion. It's one of the most humiliating things ever. When another man tells you to get naked and bend over and spread your ass cheeks. Humiliating. That's the one thing that I hate most in prison, is having to strip search. Visits, hole, whenever they feel like treating you like shit. So anyway, I go to the hole. They strip search me. Next thing I know, they bring the other kid from West Virginia. They bring him down there to the hole. He's in the hole with me. You go into the cell. When you go in the cell in solitary confinement, it's filthy dirty. 90% of the time you walk in there and you're like, are you kidding me? They bring you cleaning supplies, clean up the cell. And when you're in the hole, most of us clean the floor with an old t-shirt. You mop your floor. You don't use a mop because the mops are disgusting. Sweep your floor up with an old sock. You get the cell together, and then it hits you again. Instantly depressed. Usually the first 2 or 3 days I go to the hole, I just lay down and I sleep. You just finally get a break. You get a break from the compound, but you're depressed. Can't use the phone. I think they let you use the phone, what is it? Now, they changed it up a little bit now. Back then you got one 15-minute call a month. Can you imagine if they didn't take your phone privileges? One 15-minute phone call a month. And they want to talk about rehabilitation. One of the major components of rehabilitation is what? Family communication, and they take it away. And then the days become weeks. You start pacing. You and your cellie get a program. Maybe he walks in the morning, you walk in the afternoon, you work out in the morning, he works out in the afternoon. And you're doing the same thing every single day. Your program does not change. This is what it is. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What does that do to you mentally? What does it do to you emotionally? The experts tell you within 72 hours it messes you up mentally. I tell you from experience that the first 72 hours, 90% of the time, you just sleep in your bed. But does the hole drive people crazy? If you read my book, I think I talked about Martin. Martin would throw feces all over his cell. He'd scream at the top of his lungs 2, 3 in the morning. Same thing with Soldier Boy. I've been in the hole with Soldier Boy. I talked about him in the book. He just starts screaming at 2, 3 in the morning. Mentally destroys you. Makes you mad enough to pluck a chicken with your teeth. And we said solitary confinement. And you're probably like, well, you got a cellie. How's that solitary confinement? Well, not everyone gets a cellie. I spent months without a cellie in the hole. Months. And usually in federal prison and maximum security prisons, you got a shower in your cell, right? You got a shower in there. You can shower every single day. So that means you can work out every day. It helps take a little bit of the stress off. But let me tell you what it's like in the hole in the wintertime. Freezing cold. You're trying to manipulate the cops out of a free blanket, extra blanket. You're cold, man. You got no sweatshirt. They take you to rec every day. You can go outside for an hour a day. Sometimes it's freezing cold, and they give you these little Jackie Chan slip-on shoes. And you want to go out of your cell because it hurts. It hurts to be in there all day long. You want to just get out. You're like a caged animal. You want to get out. You want to walk down the tier. You want to go see someone else. You want to talk to somebody for an hour because you're starving for human interaction. That's real. You're actually starving for conversation. You're starving for a newspaper. We got these little slits at the bottom of the doors, but let me tell you what they're doing now. Because we used to fish, we'd throw the line out there, pull in a newspaper, maybe a small magazine, a book. You might read a magazine or a newspaper 2 months old just because you're starving for something to read to find out what's going on in the world. We used to fish that stuff in. But now a lot of these prisons, They're nasty. They don't want you to fish. So they started putting these little metal plates on the bottom of the doors. So you can't get anything from other people, right? And usually once in a while you'll find a cop, an alright cop that'll pass a book, do this, do that. They got book carts that come around like once a week. Pages are ripped out of the book. Sometimes the books look like they came from an old garage sale. So what do they want you to do? Just sit in a cell and think. And when you sit in a cell and think, what do you think that does to you? To your mental capability? What does it do to you mentally? You start thinking about your family. You start thinking about your wife that left you. You start thinking about your son, your daughter. You start thinking about the world. And for me, thinking about the world with a 40-year sentence was one of the worst things I could ever do. It took a long time for me to separate myself from the world because the world destroys you. It does. It destroys you. Thinking about family picnics or amusement parks or concerts or a car, or all the things you can't do, all the things that you think, man, I may never, ever again drive a car. And I'm sitting in this mausoleum. I'm sitting in this concrete bunker. And I'm listening to people scream cell to cell. And back in the day, people used to be more respectful. Now it's gotten worse. I've been in the hole in places where dudes will start screaming back and forth 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock. You're trying to sleep. You could be sleeping and you hear someone screaming. Yo, what's up? I heard people debating, who was a better dancer, Janet Jackson or Paula Abdul. I'll never forget that. That was when I was in Big Sandy. They were debating this at 11:30 at night. And sometimes when people start doing that, what dudes will do, they'll get up and just start kicking the door. Boom, boom, boom. Just to shut the people down. And when you're in the hole, there's a lot of dudes in there that checked in too. A lot of dudes went to PC. So they know they're not going to have any interaction with you. They're never going to see you again, in that prison at least. And they'll just start kicking the door. They'll talk shit to you. That's one of the crazy things in the hole too. And dudes that been in prison, if you're watching this, you know that. Like I've had dudes just talk horrible to me from door to door. Dudes that I knew I would never see again. I might be like, hey man, people are trying to sleep. Next thing you know, man, F-bombs and jokes about your mother. And then the other dudes will feed in too, because they're all check-ins. And that's how they get wrecked. They get wrecked by talking shit to you. That's how they pass their day in the hole. They can't wait to fire people up. And sometimes it doesn't always work out for them. Sometimes they end up in another prison with the dude they were talking junk to 4 or 5 years later. And what do you think happens? It's not good. I promise you, it's not good. It's never good. Those things never work out. And the Federal Bureau of Prisons is a small place. You will eventually see each other again, I promise. But for the moment, what do they call them, cell gangsters? For the moment, it's all right to be a cell gangster. But anyway, being in a hole like that, what do? You start counting the bricks. You pace, man. You pace back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes you do it for hours. It's just how you deal with it mentally and emotionally. It's devastating. It's devastating. And there's dudes that have been in there for months, years. I spent a lot of time in the hole, man. Early on in my bid, I spent a lot of time in the hole. Even at the end, I ended up in the hole just before I came home for some shit I had nothing to do with. I've ended up in the hole for, I talked about Jason the other day who had his eyes blown out. I was in the hole with Jason over Jason's situation. Some shit I had nothing to do with, but I sat down there, I think, for 33 days. Been in the hole for 11 months. I've been in the hole for 13 months. I was under investigation. Hopefully I'm bringing another one of the homies on in an interview this week, maybe tomorrow. We're going to talk about me and him. We were cellies in the hole. He's from California. I was from New York. I think you guys will like him, Jimmy Mack. But yeah, man. Think about that. You're out here getting money. You're out here doing your thing. Think about what it's like to be locked in a cell. Because I promise you, it's going to happen at some point in your bid. You're going to end up in the hole. Might not even be for something you did, but you're going to end up in there. You will definitely end up in the hole. That's a promise. Solitary confinement. It destroys you. I've already said that, right? It hurts you. It hurts you mentally. It hurts you emotionally. Makes you think about, man, I ain't trying to get in no trouble no more. I'm trying to go out here and just do my time. I've heard plenty of people say, I've said it numerous times. Next thing I know, 3 months later, I'm back in the hole. Something happened. We had to handle some business. I'm back in the hole. And I'm like, damn, man. I've seen people go to the hole and just keep prolonging it. Keep getting jammed up. I see dudes pull the water spout in the hole because they're going nuts. They just pull the sprinkler. Black water comes out, sprays their cells, sprays them. They're screaming, ah! Don't be that dude, man. Don't be that chick either. Get your life right. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.